So you might have heard there's a discussion in Malta right now about whether or not to introduce gender quotas. And just to mansplain what that even means, it's reserving a number of positions for a particular gender. Specifically, we're talking about Parliament, where there's currently only one woman for every 7 men, which makes it sound like a cross between a Snow White-themed porno and Chris Cardona's worst nightmare. But like most national consultations on the island, it's not actually a discussion as much as it's something that's definitely going to happen because Joseph Muscat said so. And as with everything the Prime Minister proposes, there's an incredible amount of resistance that will eventually be Cambridge Analytica out of your Facebook feeds. Joseph Muscat is amazing, and here are 7 reasons why. 1. He championed civil liberties for the LGBTIQ community, turning a conservative country that didn't even have divorce to one that has fully embraced gay marriage and adoption by same-sex couples. A man of pure conviction.
Ma naħsibx li huwa naturali li tdaħħal it-terminu.
Huwa naturali li tkun
ħanispjegalek, Ġo, ma naħsibx huwa naturali li tdaħħal it-terminu żwieġ għalija terminu żwieġ jgħod bir-raġel u mara.
2. Joseph has totally eradicated unemployment in Malta and is now lending his services to solving unemployment in Turkey. X'ċuċ kien is-Salvatur ta' Malta? Joseph is-Salvatur ta' Malta u t-Turkija. 3. He's single-handedly rebuilding every road in Malta, and when he's done, he's going to build a fucking road to Gozo, underwater, because Joseph. 4. Remember laughing when he said laqwa fl-Europa? Who's laughing now? We literally have the fastest growing economy in Europe. Joseph did that. 5. Joseph also slashed our electricity bills by 25%, just as he promised. X'ma tħobbux. King Joseph. 6. He's hands down the best at debates and interviews. He doesn't do them anymore because Joseph, but he wins them anyway. Every time. #Dnegel. 7. Joseph Muscat is a true ladies' man imnejjek. He set up an academy for women in politics, and now he's introducing gender quotas. Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. So, gender quotas. Some people take huge offense at the notion of positive discrimination for women. And it's not just this guy.
They haven't enjoyed my work.
I've definitely read bits on the internet.
Read more.
Marlene Farrugia, for example, has lashed out against the plans with a detailed position best summarized as "women are not tuna." Now, while that makes a great headline and can inspire some brilliantly childish Photoshop of women who could totally be tuna, jew kif jgħid il-Malti, tuna maqsuma, it's also taking things a bit too literally. I mean, the only reason she's making the connection with tuna is that Malta has tuna quotas. You know, quotas that are totally being properly enforced by the totally not corrupt female head of the Fisheries Department. Hola, Ricardo. Oh, estoy trabajando. Estoy trabajando. But disregarding gender quotas because women are not tuna is just a stupid example. People are also not floorboards, but we all love getting laid. Women are also not our art, but they can both drive men a bit crazy sometimes.
So this is what you're seeing in front of me right now. One of the fish farms must have broke open, and there's hundreds and hundreds of fish being washed ashore.
But weak tuna comparisons aside, you can kind of see how quotas could seem degrading to women. And the truth is, they are degrading. Women shouldn't be appointed to roles just to make up the numbers. They should feature prominently in decision-making because that's just what makes sense. It should happen automatically. But there are many things we want to happen automatically that don't. Da pal Joseph, ilu ma jagħti intervista kważi sentej. Nixtiequh ipoġġi waħda ma' Lovin Malta, imma biex xewqa bqajna għax qed jilagħba naqa' hard to get. Ejja Juice, tina intervista. Inkella nibdew nagħmlu kwota fuq l-intervisti, x'taħseb? The problem is, everywhere in the world, despite more women graduating from universities and having all the qualifications necessary, women are consistently absent from decision-making bodies, except in places that introduce quotas, at least temporarily. And quite frankly, this is a problem for men too. Why would any of us want to be so cut off from women all the time? I went to an all-boys school, so I can tell you, only bad things happen when you leave men alone.
What the fuck's he doing? What the hell, sis?
Just ask Franco De Bono what happened in Form 2C. If you look at the gender stats, it's quite bleak. Currently, women make up only 14% of our parliament, and by the latest statistics, 8.5% of boardrooms of publicly listed companies. And while there has been a minor improvement here, we're still among the worst in Europe. This Europe.
And of course, women must earn less than men because they are weaker, they are smaller, they are less intelligent, and they must earn less. That's all.
The thing is, the data shows that organizations are stronger in diversity. Imagina board ta' kumpanija tal-condoms. Xa għamlu ċar? Ngħidlek jien, kondom, XXL, ultra ribbed, u nagħmluh banana flavor dax iħobbu għal-banana. It just wouldn't work. But jokes aside, nowhere is gender representation more relevant than in Parliament, where our decision makers literally make decisions every day that affect all of us, irrespective of gender. So having such a poor representation of women is deeply problematic, which is why quotas are being proposed. And they're only meant as something temporary, to Franco de Bono things up, so to speak. In fact, not many people know that the Labour Party had introduced quotas internally, and they've been so successful in achieving a gender balance that quotas are no longer needed. Which is good, because quotas are pretty lame, and they're embarrassing to those who they're meant to benefit. A bit like armbands or bicycle training wheels. Imagine being a woman who fails to get elected, but is then given a green light just to make up the female numbers. Or imagine being elected as a man, but then being told you can't take a job because a woman took your place. And what if you have no gender, or if you decide to change your gender, which in Malta is as easy as taking an affidavit. Like, all I need to do is to submit this letter, and I'm suddenly a woman. In fact, if we get 1 million tweets with the hashtag #MakeLuca_woman, I'll do it. And sure, that would be totally offensive to the transgender community, but it's also true. Now, to be fair, the government's current proposal is not to replace men who get elected with women who don't, but to add women over and above men. But that's actually worse. It's probably not even physically possible in a parliament with 77 seats. And the last thing Malta needs is even more MPs per capita. We're already the biggest parliament in Europe with the worst paid MPs, as discussed in the last episode. If you haven't watched it, Cambridge Analytica. So why are we going to overload our parliament? My position is this. We absolutely need more women in parliament. Like, why the hell not? Women are awesome. And quite frankly, our current parliament is not. Why not replace some of the stagnant old men with new, forward-looking women? And let's face it, there are some solid candidates out there. But the solution isn't quotas. Instead of waiting for quotas to fix the problem, the political parties should just give us women to vote for. And we should vote for them. So today, we're starting a movement called #AbortQuotas. Let's abort the whole concept of quotas before they're even needed, by making a conscious effort to vote for some awesome women. Let's find our own versions of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the exciting young American politician who is making US politics bearable again.
So I can be totally funded by oil and gas, I can be totally funded by Big Pharma, come in, write Big Pharma laws, and there's no limits to that whatsoever.
That's right.
Okay, so, awesome.
And if you're struggling to think of a Maltese woman to vote for, don't panic. Here's our top 10 list of women who deserve your vote, besides the obvious Roberta Metsola and Miriam Dalli, who have already made it and should act as an inspiration to all the others. Cami Appigram, an MEP candidate who's not only been campaigning for a cleaner environment, but actually does something about it, and has been organising regular cleanups around Malta and Gozo before it became cool to do so. Rosalind Borch-Knight, an employment lawyer, the Nationalist Party's international secretary, who contested the 2017 election and has lots to contribute. Just check out her blog on rosalindborge.com to get some insight into her ideas. Rosianne Kutayar, a young, assertive Labour MP who is making a name for herself in Parliament with her strong stance and initiatives like the much-needed cremation bill.
Il-ġbejniet naddu għal-ftit, frejjeġ din ġimma smajna l-kap tal-oppożizzjoni.
Claudette Buttigieg, who's not only Malta's Oprah Winfrey, but also gave us the all-time classic Desire, only to transform herself into a pretty damn good MP, as well as a well-measured Deputy Speaker. Josiane Kutayar, a Godston Labour MEP candidate, who was within a whisker of becoming mayor in the nationalist stronghold of Nadur, and is pushing a very strong campaign which also tackles gender representation. Then there's... Okay, so we ran out of options, which is exactly the point we're making here about needing to inspire competent women to enter politics. And perhaps we can convince some young potential candidates who have impressed us recently, like Eve Borg Bonello, an ambitious PN activist who caught everyone's eye with her impassioned and sensible speeches. And she's only 16.
Bekk nappella li ċittadini kollha, mod speċjali li żgħażagħ, biex inkomplu niġġieldu għall-ġustizzja, li nkunu soċjetà fejn denna jbaqbaq għat-trasparenza u l-verità, biex inkunu ċittadini li iva demna nċarċru għall-libertà.
Naomi Kakija, president of Forum Żgħażagħ Laburisti, very progressive feminist, and strongly pushing to break the mold in what she describes to be a political network that's still an old boys club. Or Sarah Azabe, a 21-year-old law student who is half Maltese, half Libyan, and whose activism against discrimination and racism in Malta has earned her recognition both locally and internationally. The potential is definitely there, especially with the younger generation. What we need to do is inspire women to contest, and then vote for them. Then we won't need quotas, because we've made them redundant. So let's do this. Let's abort quotas today. Let's make a collective effort to start changing the face of our parliament. Let's ensure more diversity and better representation. And let's encourage as many women as possible to put their names forward. At the very least, maybe it'll add some much needed pressure on the many dinosaurs getting comfy in their seats. Here's to women doing to politics what Hurricane Dnegil did to these cows. Thanks for tuning into Kaxxaturi. I've been Luca Amato, and this is Lovin Malta's monthly takedown of topics we feel strongly about. If you enjoyed it, please share this video with the hashtag #AbortQuotas. See you next time. Fakruni naqqa kif qed ngħidu għaddi, Dnegil jew Dneġil? Għax għalija Dnigil għandha tkun, tipo immaġina Dnigil ċantar, Dnigil borċ, Dnigil hu.